Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the art session series. In the last video or series of videos I did for this playlist, I focused more on the Sun Wukong game because it was pretty hype like last month, I think, more or last 2 months. That was kind of the main thing that kind of caught my eye, but since that's kind of gone now, and I'm back to anime because I've been watching a bunch of anime this season or this autumn season, fall, I guess. Yeah, I'm watching this show called, well, lots of shows, but one of them is called Demon Lord 2099. It's a very interesting show. I love the style of the anime. I do like the quality of the art, the animation, and even the story. It's kind of interesting. It's basically this demon fantasy world that's mixed with like cyberpunk sci-fi. And he was basically this demon lord guy was basically reincarnated into this future where this fantasy world sort of merged with Earth. So that's where the story sort of begins. By the way, the first episode is out, so yeah. So I'm not really sure what to do here, because I'm kind of good when I'm drawing from reference. For example, in the last few videos I did, it was fairly easy to draw one-to-one, and that's kind of the issue that I have. I'm good in that kind of thing, but when it comes to more imaginative work, it doesn't even have to be totally like from imagination, but if I have reference, I have a habit of just copying things 1:1. Like I can't seem to make it into my own thing, you know? And maybe it's because I'm just not comfortable with the subject, right? So there's that. And I was watching, or I was scrolling through Twitter or X earlier, and I saw a post about how it's basically a meme, an art meme, where it's a guy sort of being free from his shackles and being free from his like he was chained up, so now he was able to break free, and the text or caption says that, or said that, that's kind of how you feel when you don't do line work or line art. And I kind of get the feeling, I mean, it's not bad to do line art, but for a lot of people, you can get stuck there. Like if that's not your thing and you're forcing yourself to do line art, that can take away your efficiency or productivity, right? Because there are some people there, I think I'm more of I do lean, I think, more on painting. I mean, I can draw. Is drawing? It's pretty bad. But I just feel like I'm more faster. I mean, yeah, I'm just faster with painting. And even if I draw, it's usually gonna be like a pencil. And I don't do the whole like pencil first and then you do like the harder. Let's use an ink brush here. Like a harder ink later. I don't do that. It's not that I can't, but I just suck at it. And I just don't feel like it's natural to me. And I think that's something you do find out once you actually start making art and doing art. Which is something that I do suffer from. You know, I do fantasize about it a lot, and I do draw sometimes and paint, but sometimes I procrastinate, or maybe it's not procrastination, I just kind of hesitate, or like I feel like I'm scared sometimes to even draw for some reason. It's so weird. I mean, it's not like physically scary, but something in my soul, maybe it's because it's important to me that if I fail at it, it feels like I'm protecting myself by not doing art, so I won't have to get hurt. Ooh, deep therapy. Shit, I'm sounding like Adam Duff. Except I'm less experienced, but anyway. Shit, this guy's ugly as fuck. Oh god. But this is something that you have to go through. You have to go through the shitty stuff so you can figure out what works for you, right? So I don't know, because I want to be able to draw like anime faces, but I just don't know how. You know, I am see, for example, for this specific piece, I do have reference on the side. It's basically like a screenshot or a freeze frame of the episode, but it looks ugly as fucking hell, bro. But there's no other way to find out what your proper methodology is. Well, there is. You just have to jump in and figure out what works for you and what doesn't. But that process of finding things out, it does hurt. I'm trying to find some brushes here. Maybe I can try painting it. I'll try to find a way to be able to draw something fast. Like quickly. Because right now, intuitively, I feel like my soul or my mind is telling me to pick a hard brush. Fuck. Is this the brush? I don't know. Something that doesn't involve a lot of like... Maybe this guy? Fuck it. Let's say this guy. Let's use the color wheel here. I do see... You know what? It's limited to just black and white, so I won't have to think so much. And yeah, that's also another thing you have to figure out. Or, not figure out, but sometimes do. You do have to simplify things. For example, right now, maybe it's not the time to do colors. Maybe you'll have to skip the background a bit. Right? Because you're trying to do too much when you're not even that skilled yet, you know? So maybe painting in black and white, pure black and white, not even grayscale. Maybe that's the thing that can help you. So let's do this. Right? And then the hair sort of does that. And what's cool with black and white, like purely black and white, is you get to play with the negative shapes. Like it helps you think, like should this thing be white, should this thing be black? And you don't really have any other choice either to use white or black. So that does help you become more creative, but also it helps you save time. So you don't have to do colors, right? Or grayscale or values. When I say grayscale, I mean values. Well, yeah. So, and the advantage too, I guess, of using digital is you can manipulate via the warp tool or the liquify tool. For example, I know here in Clip Studio Paint, if I hit Control T and then right click, oh, it doesn't have a warp. I do think in YouTube, in Photoshop, you do have the warp option, but thankfully in Clip Studio Paint, you have the liquify tool. Right? And you can adjust the settings, but it's kind of a warp tool basically. I mean, Photoshop does have both the warp tool or a warp option and the liquify option, so yep. So that's something Photoshop has that Clip Studio doesn't. I guess I don't like sucking. What I mean is because it's painful to know that like you don't have the skills. But maybe that is the secret in a way. Like, can you bear being an amateur? You know? Can you accept the fact that you just suck for now? And that if you just keep going and learn to stick to something even though you suck at it, maybe that's the sort of the secret in a way. See? So I know the eye is kind of like here. Oh my god, guys. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. I am not good at this. So I'm not even sure how to title this video because I kind of want to do something that makes me look good. But I also want to learn at the same time. So I'm not sure if I should just do a video where I'm dominant in something. Or I should do a video where I suck and you see me sort of learn something in real time. Right? Maybe I should just do both. It's not bad. Cope. Someone's coping. Jesus fucking Christ. Damn. His eye is a bit too, like, his eyes are a bit too shiny for me. My God. For those of you who are better at anime art, give me some tips. Because I can draw like mechs and shit, but when it comes to this kind of thing, I just, oh my God. For example, let me just cope here. Let me just paint over this, right? And I like painting directly because I don't have to use the eraser tool. And when I paint, I usually paint with a white background because it's just easier. So we'll do this. We'll make this sort of a free sketchbook page. Usually my go-to sort of thing is Evangelion. I don't even know the full anatomy of it, but I just kind of wing it, something like this. Right? For those of you who've seen the anime, we'll add 2 eyes here just to make it more unique. But the shape of it is pretty much like always the same for some reason. And I think that anime really like the design of it really influenced me. Or it continues to influence me for some reason. Like it just stuck. And like, you know, your style is not just the way you paint or draw. It's the subjects you typically pick. Because what you draw and paint is related to your painting like method. For example, if you're used to painting like for example, mechy stuff, the way you render is going to be somewhat mechy, right? So it all sort of connects, and there's usually kind of a horn here for some reason. Do you see how I'm erasing with the same brush? I'm not really erasing it. I'm painting over it with the white background. Do you see that? Like this is the typical stuff that makes it's just comfortable to me. We have the neck here. Right? We have the sort of trap thing here going on. Make the neck longer a bit. Show the chest. Clavicles. The shoulders are here. Right? And then maybe we have there's sort of I'm not even sure, it's like armor or an antenna or something. It sort of goes around the shoulder. You see that? Like it's just easier for me to do this. It feels so natural for me at this point. And it's just fun. It's kind of like a dinosaur as well. I am influenced by dinosaurs. And even this, I want to get good at this sort of drawings too. Because it's fun, right? So yeah, these are the typical, oh wait, I don't like this part. So these are the things I typically kind of do. Man, this one's a bit too, I don't like the top. It's like a unicorn. Kind of like, maybe it's too thick. Oh yeah? It's too thick? Okay, stop. Kind of like that. Wait, let me just hit L. I'll hit Control T. Rotate. Put it here. I feel like it should point more forward. Kind of like that. So Evangelion stuff, dinosaurs, kaiju. Kaiju sort of monsters. I just have a thing for it. But also I want to do this like anime stuff. I know it sucks, guys. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. You know what? Maybe it's the frame. Let me just move to a different shot because my confidence level is kind of good. I was saved by the Evangelion over here. The kaiju / Evangelion. So I'm feeling a little confident. So let me, or I've gained some of it back. So I'm gonna find a different screenshot. Excuse me. Because, you know, I do want to draw somewhat pretty characters. And for this anime Demon Lord 2099, the anime art is very pretty. I do like the way it's drawn. So yeah. Okay, I think I found a good shot. Let me just do the expand page a bit. Fuck it. Let me just hit C, move it to the right, hit enter, bam. And I don't even need this side here because I don't really use that many layers anyway. So let me just hide this. So again, we'll stick to black and white because it just, let me just, if I feel like this is so short, expand it more, hit B. I do have a better shot here. So I guess I'm kind of, I think what works for me, I'm just feeling it right now. I think it's drawing and painting. So basically I can lay things out with a small brush and then kind of loosely, sort of like this. And then I make the brush bigger because I have a habit of using the brackets. Or for me, I actually change it to the colon and the apostrophe. So the two buttons below the brackets is kind of my brush size. But for most people, it's going to be the brackets. So yeah, I'm used to quickly changing the brush size with my keyboard or keys. I guess that's kind of I was used to the whole painting directly. Just think Feng Zhu, think Anthony Jones, those kinds of artists. I did start out a lot with, I'm very influenced by concept art paintings, the illustrative stuff anyway. And by concept art stuff, I don't mean like the design aspect. I used to conflate the design. Like I thought concept art was just like the illustrations and the mood paintings, but apparently it's way more. It's more like there's a design aspect to it where you have to do like really more detailed stuff. It's not gonna be as pretty, but it's more about the idea, those kinds of things. Yeah, I wasn't really into that. I was more into the paintings. So maybe I guess I'm more of an illustrator if I would have to identify myself than say a designer, right? I mean, you're kind of doing a little bit of both, but I think it's more of a spectrum, like design or illustration, right? So it's more of a spectrum. I do lean, I think, more on the illustrative side. Shit, I'm still doing it ugly. Or it's not looking as fine as I would like it to be. So I don't know, maybe it's because this brush is like it's fixed in one size. Like it's not as affected by the pen pressure, so I may have to change the brush. But let me just stick to this and see what happens. So this guy, okay, we have the ear over here, we have the eyes, the nose. He's kind of smiling in a way, being all pompous, right? Let me just draw where the eyes are. And I love how the anime eyes are drawn. It's almost always very pretty to look at. Sometimes they overdo it, but it's in a good way. Like it's not even necessary to do all that work, but it's so, like it makes you want to just look at it forever. Oh my god, I picked a gray. See, I'm not even oh my god. If you're watching the anime, you know how pretty this guy is. He's a very beautiful man. Everyone really. But obviously him and his underling in a way. But I am not doing this magnificent guy justice. It's fucking horrifying. So apologies, just bear with me. It's easier when you're drawing like animals or... Because in my last video, I was trying to... Oh my god, this guy is so fucking... Oh, it's so over. I want to quit. I want to quit. Confidence is dropping like a fucking... I was gonna say something mean and not appropriate, but oh my god. It's so over. If you're struggling with something, don't worry. I'm just as pathetic as you are. Damn, Davi is a downer. Debbie Downer. Right? Oh my god, look at that horrifying thing that's called a mouth. Okay, it's turning into something. It's almost like a human being. Oh god. Oh, this guy really has pretty freaking eyes. Right, so let me just find the midpoint. Let me just erase this or paint over it, right? So what we've learned is maybe the brush size, constantly changing it into a small brush and big brush, where basically this brush doesn't have, like, the size of it is not affected by the pen pressure as much. Only a little bit. Maybe that's not the best option for me. That's what I'm finding out right now. This guy is actually like, let me just make a more white area here. Okay, it's starting to look like the guy a little bit. But again, if you've seen, just watch the anime, I recommend it. Way prettier in the anime. But see, even, okay, right now I still see, I noticed that I'm so reliant on the reference photo or the still shot that I have. And maybe some of you get what I mean. Like when you have, you know how you have your board, right? And you have all your images here. Like I'm so fascinated how people can have this on the side and they can use that, all of this really creatively, and they're not like stuck copying just things 1:1, you know. This is kind of my issue here, 1:1. But maybe it's just because, again, I'm thinking experience, lack of experience. So maybe I just had to do more 1:1. But then again, I'm just getting better at doing 1:1. So maybe I need to have sessions where I just force myself to try and figure things out and see what works for me. And figure out my own solutions. Effort. Fuck. Anyway. So what is working for me, I guess it's the black and white. It's just easier. I don't have to think about like colors or values, right? It's just two values. It's black. It's gonna be either black or it's gonna be white. There's no other thing. So that's my advantage over here. Okay, so what else? Oh, let me hit L. Select this guy. I think it goes a little higher. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because, again, I'm very reliant on the reference. So I've noticed the mouth is kind of higher a little bit, or maybe it's because we're seeing it from the bottom up, from below basically, so it kind of makes sense that it would be a bit higher, right? Let me just try to fix the eye here and then we're done, because confidence level is not good here. So I mean, it's not bad. It kind of makes, I kind of see it. I see the potential of it. Cope. It's so cope, right? Like, how do you simplify the eye? And sometimes my issue with the eyes, I kind of make, sometimes the eyes look kind of cross-eyed. It looks so like they're mentally, I don't even want to say it, guys. All I'm saying is I'm hurt. I'm hurt that I'm not as skilled. See, this guy looks so cross-eyed. And even the way the hair is done, how it just flows and shit. No idea how to do that, but whatever. Okay, I'm overdoing it. I don't need to do that much. So this guy is actually like, it's more of a triangle like this. Yeah. Oh, why is it gray? So if you watch the anime, he's gonna be way prettier than this. But then again, you know, forgive me, you know, I'm not as skilled yet, but you know, this is good. One day I'll look back at one of my videos and I'll be like, oh shit, this is what I had to go through to become a freaking pro. So, right. Oh. Man, Giga Chad Chin. Spare me. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, I do see a little bit of the yes, the side of the chin. Oh, the chin is a bit rounded here. Okay, kind of close. Let me just draw a little bit of the armor. Reminds me of one of the. I want to reference an artist. It's an artist on Twitter. They do a lot of black and white illustrations. Although it's mostly horny, it's not even nude. It's they're often clothed or dressed up. But that's kind of their method, black and white, right? So I can use a big brushstroke here. I can fill in large areas quickly. We have the color over here. See that? Very interesting, right? And I don't have to draw the whole body, but I do know there's something. The chest is gonna be around here. I'll pick the white. Indicate the middle line of the chest. Do this. Do this. Let me just color this, right? And then pick the white. There's something. It looks like nipples, but it's not. Right? Let me just indicate the colors here. And it's more consumable that way. So anyway, let me just move on to something else. Should I move on to a different frame? I don't know. Oh, I found another one. It's almost like a side profile of the guy. Did he learn something in this session? Yes. Black and white, definitely. I need to build up some confidence with my anime. I mean, I've done some anime faces in the channel, but not always proud of it. But I gotta move forward. You know, I gotta try. I gotta figure things out. I have to improve. So, sucking, is gonna be a part of that process. The Evangelion stuff is kind of cool too, but right now, I just have to do something. So I did mention that I want to have a brush that has some pen pressure on it. So I don't have to keep changing the brush size. I don't know if should I use a pastel? Because I do like the opaqueness of it where it's very direct. Like I don't have to go back and forth to create a solid value. Let's try this. Oh, I can just tell it's I think there's too much texture. I want something that's yeah, this one's still too. I want some pen pressure in terms of the line weight. Hi. Davi here. So apparently I stopped recording by accident. So you missed, I guess, this part. It wasn't that much, but God, it sucks. I was basically talking to myself for a couple of minutes there. I'm not sure. Did I click something by accident? Or maybe I hit one of the shortcut keys to stop recording. My bad, guys. Sorry. But you know, thankfully it's still in the black and white stage. And it's mostly in black. Basically, my point here was to try and paint things first in black and white. Roughly, and then add the whites later. So I wanted to kind of jot down the silhouette a little bit. With the black only, and then from there add the whites, but I'm still doing this thing basically. Oh, and about this, I don't think I mentioned this, or I don't think this part was able to be recorded in the first part, but sorry, essentially when you're not feeling good when it comes to, or when you're avoiding doing art, I think it's not because of how hard it is necessarily. I think it's mostly about how hurt you'll feel when you have to face the fact that you suck. And I think this is what gets in the way. It's not so much the difficulty, it's the hurt. You know? The hurt that you'll feel is what's actually stopping you than the actual hardness or difficulty of the task. I just wanted to write it down because, you know, like I want to get good at this, but sometimes I put things off. Really annoying, but yeah. Anyway, so we'll do this. Oh, by the way, I'm using a more... It's still a painterly brush, but it does have a bit of that pen pressure where it sort of points to a tip. Yeah, so I'll try adding the whites now and we'll see. We'll see what happens. So basically, we have this guy. Yeah, he's actually kind of here, right? I can't totally erase like the edges because that's gonna serve as my contour line, but I can erase it this way. Like the proportions are gonna be skewed. Like it's not always gonna be... It's not gonna make sense in 3D sometimes when you look at anime art. But it still works for some reason. I think the visuals is the priority rather than the aesthetics, the visuals. It's more important than the structure. It doesn't always have to be right per se. It just has to look good. So that's something that I think this kind of style gives. It's very freeing. Any kind of 2D stylized style, it's just more freeing, right? Oops. And it's kind of looking that way. So it's kind of working, right? So we have the ear over here. Oops. Okay, I think what you do have to sort of copy things in the beginning. I mean, I've heard plenty of artists say this, that it's kind of what you have to do to kind of get used to the proportions and the feel of things. Then once you've drawn enough, it's going to be easier to draw things from imagination. Kind of like Kim Jung-gi, like he does draw a lot from reference 1:1. I mean, he won't try to completely draw things realistically because he draws from life a lot. He'll end up kind of pushing the proportions, but the point is, he's very reliant on like references. But over time, you sort of just get used to drawing the same thing that you can sort of play around with it. That's kind of a theory. Anyway, so in practice, is it real or is it does it make sense? I don't know, but it seems legit to me. So we have the hair here. So this guy has he has nice freaking hair for some reason, right? Whoa, right? So you want to be minimal with the whites and the black. So yeah, I think we'll stop here. So I want to make this sustainable where I can draw, paint every day instead of forcing myself. Let me just expand this a little bit. Ooh, oh my god, wrong one. Can I close all of this? Okay, fuck it. So yeah, improvements. This one's kind of close, I guess, ish. But it's a great warm up, and then I did a more personal one, the Evangelion. Always a classic, the kaiju / Evangelion kind of monster thing. And then I did a study. This one's my favorite. I think I was able to capture the expression, but then again, it's more of a 1:1 thing. This one is the same thing, same character, but you're seeing it from the side profile. Pretty close. But now I have kind of a gist, kind of a rough understanding of how the face works. It doesn't mean I'll be able to do this on the fly, but at least, you know, like you'll only know how to do things. You'll figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you when you do these sorts of studies and sketches. So hopefully I've inspired you to do your own study session, art session. So do what you have to do today. Just spend some time figuring things out. And I think this is the good takeaway here. I know you're scared, or not, maybe it's not so much you're scared. And it's not even so much that art is hard. The reason why you're kind of hesitating or procrastinating is most likely because you don't want that feeling of knowing you suck, of that feeling of being an amateur. And the best thing I can say is you just have to go through it, understand it. It's not going to be easy. and understand that it's really less about the difficulty. If you did not feel hurt, it would be easy to do the hard thing. It sounds weird to say, but it's kind of just how it turns out, because it's kind of like, for example, when you're experimenting and just doodling, you're not hurt in any way. And the reason why is you're not trying to accomplish something good, or you're not really aiming to be perfect. You're just doodling or experimenting. So that's why it's easier to do something that's technically hard, but it doesn't feel like there's less resistance because you're just doodling. Like, you're minimizing the effect of it when you just think about it in terms of doodling or experimenting, or when you're just trying things. I think having this mentality helps. So if you're struggling with art, think of it this way, and hopefully it helps you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. I want to keep things consistent. I want to do things almost daily, pretty much. And yeah, that's it for this art session. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.